Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's coverage of the 2018 Buckeye Classic, straight from Galena, Ohio. My name is Brian Keegan. I'm your host, and today I'm joined by tournament director Brad Schick. Brad, how are you doing?
How's it going, Brian? Doing well, thanks.
Yeah, we had a fantastic time out at the first round was at Hoover, and we had such a fun time out at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Park. We had how many people show up, Brad?
Total between the two fields, there were 142 players, which was overwhelming and exciting to say the least. So, yeah, a large group and a little larger than I expected this first year. So,
well, that's amazing. It seems like the Columbus community really came together for this, and people not just from Columbus, but from Indiana, from PA. I believe you might even had somebody from Kentucky, right?
Yeah, Kentucky, West Virginia. There was quite a few states represented, so we were excited.
And we're out at Alum Creek State Park here in Galena, Ohio. Beautiful park, relatively new course. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. So it was designed back in 2009, but it's been redesigned multiple times by a lot of people. So Ken Rollins and Chuck Custer originally designed it, and then it's been redesigned a couple times. Chris Hinckley and some of the folks locally have helped redesign that. So
awesome. So it keeps it challenging. And I do want to say a very special thank you to our broadcast sponsor, Dynamic Discs. You guys are amazing for sponsoring us to be out at this event. Today on our main card, we actually have Tyler Horne coming in first place with 9 under. We have Matthew Blakely at 8 under, as well as Cyrus Fuhrman at 8 under, and Brendan Beeney at 7 under. So we definitely have a close race here coming to Alum from Hoover.
Yeah, these 4 players are mostly local Ohio, all Ohio boys actually, and they're all well known. If you've played anywhere around in our region, you know all 4 of these people, and they shot really well at Hoover. Those are really solid scores. So, and as you can see, this first round we were dodging some storms, and first round they were calling for rain all day. In the first round we got really lucky, and then I think as we were walking out to our hole, if I remember correctly, the 2-minute warning was blowing and the fun started. So here we are in hole 1.
That's right. Right whenever it's time to get up on the tee, wouldn't you know it? Here comes the rain.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this first hole, 750 feet, is one of the best holes in Ohio, in my opinion. It's a par 5, and lots of different ways to play it.
Yeah, it looks like Tyler played it dead straight there and hit a tree.
And that's kind of an ideal landing zone. So here you have Matt Blakely. It's like he's throwing a comet.
Just laser straight.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a really good spot to be. He's going to be in a really good spot. So from this tee pad, the basket actually goes way around to the right side. Here's Cyrus Fuhrman throwing a sidearm, looks like nose up, and he really loses that one off on the right side into the rough. And last, if you blink, you might miss him. That's Brendan Beeney. We call him Beeney, and he is probably one of the fastest players in Ohio. I love playing with Beeney because you're not waiting much. So,
yeah, that's what I noticed. I had to make sure to be Johnny on the button for recording.
Yeah. So Beeney's second shot's out there in the open, which is not a bad place to be. You're really trying to get yourself up by that yellow basket, which is the second basket on this hole. We're actually playing to the more difficult one, which is more to the right. So from where Matt's at, his is going absolutely perfect into the landing spot. So the yellow's right there, and if you go about 150 to 200 feet straight past that yellow one, you actually go into the red basket. So Tyler's trying to do the exact same thing, and it looks to be just about perfect as well. A 4 is a definite birdie on this hole. If you get a 4, you're pretty excited. And Cyrus didn't turn out as bad as I would have thought off the tee. He's got a little opening, and that's not what he wanted. Not what he was looking for. So again, from here, he's probably looking at 275 feet, maybe to the basket. And he's trying to go really high up over all of the trees because there's a low path, but it's pretty tricky. And if you can get up high, you can penetrate through there a little bit better. So Beeney's got a pretty good look. I would expect him to just laser beam right at it. Oh, what a nice kick.
Yeah, he was able to stay nice and straight despite that tree kick.
Yeah. Matt's in the perfect spot after 2. And a little left. Came out a little early. Tyler's way up there after 2. Okay, now I take it back. That is the perfect spot after 2. I've actually never seen this hole 3'd before. The rumor is it's been 3'd a few times, but it's a really, really good 4. If you 4 it, you're walking off with a smile on your face. Matt's probably about 60 feet, I would guess. And it's a good try, but a little bit too much distance on that first hole. Cyrus kind of half running that, I think. Beeney is known for being aggressive, very, very quick and very aggressive. There's not a lot of putts you're going to see him lay up on, no matter what's behind it. And it looks like he laid up just to prove me wrong. So I have not seen this footage. I wanted to follow along and be excited to watch all these shots. So good putt by Matt just to get his par and get out.
We have Cyrus parring out as well. Tyler taking his birdie.
Nice. A really good start. Extend the lead another stroke. The par for Beeney. So that's a good first hole. 5. I mean, you're not angry with a 5, but you know, it's definitely not what you're looking for. You want to get that 4. This second hole is another sweet hole. There's so many different ways to play it. You'll see players go straight through the middle. There's lots of trees. You might see somebody roll it. There's a sidearm path through the left side. That's something I love about this course is there's just so many ways to dissect these holes. So Tyler just absolutely crushing one up the middle, splitting the trees. Got a little bit left into the rough, so that could be a tricky second shot, but my guess is he's going to be far enough down there to get up and down. The basket's over on the left.
Whoa.
Oh, no. That's not what you want. Yeah, that's the path I was talking about, that turnover shot or even a sidearm. And if that holds like it is, looked like it was a pretty good shot. And then Beeney looks like he's going sidearm right up the middle. That needs to sit quickly, and that is not good.
He's going to be in some rough there.
Yeah. Matt's in the wrong fairway, so I think next year we should make this OB on this side. I think it would keep things flowing a little better.
Might be onto something there.
Yeah, that yellow basket is actually not where they're going. That's the other basket. They're playing to the red basket, which is on the left of that fairway. So Matt was trying to cut that in close and got it a little bit too tight. So he's going to be struggling to get a 4, I believe. And Cyrus needed a little more turn on that drive, and he would have been sitting in the sweet spot. That was a nice shot.
Very nice second shot there.
Matt pulling out his trusty Comet again, trying a little sidearm. Just float it over and let the wind do it, and the disc do all the magic there. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, he's down there.
And as expected, Tyler's a little caught up, but I think there's a couple gaps over there that you can usually get up and down.
Beautiful upshot. Wow.
Yep. Tyler's, I mean, most people know him around here. He's probably arguably one of the best we've had in Ohio ever. Great shot by Beeney. Tyler's been playing, I mean, his PDGA is in the 16,000 range. He's been playing for over, 20 years probably, and he actually has 112 pro wins. He's never won an AM tournament. Nice putt by Cyrus.
Yeah.
Very nice save.
He's never won an AM.
Tyler never won an AM tournament. Tyler went straight up. If he did, it wasn't a PDGA event. He went straight into pro, and all of his wins, 112, are all pro wins, which is just insane to think about. Matt, a little bit not committed enough, a little low.
The funny thing is about Tyler, like just being around him while he's playing, you'd never know if he had a good shot or a bad shot. Yep. He's just so calm.
Yep. Perfect birdie. Starting off birdie. That's exactly what you want out there. He's picking up strokes on these guys. 2 on Matt, which is the funny thing is Matt had never seen this course either. He came in and had not actually played any of these holes, so it's not an easy course to play when you know it. It's certainly not easy when you're playing it blind.
So we're moving on to hole 3, which is a par 3. It's 380 feet. This one can be really tricky. It's really tightly wooded here at the beginning.
And it's off to the right. So there's a yellow basket and a red basket on this one, and over that wood pile back over there is the basket off to the right side. And it's really a good sidearm hole. I really like the sidearm hole, so I wouldn't be surprised to see 3 out of 4 of these guys throwing sidearm. I know Beeney will. And that if that skips just like it did, that's going to give him a good look, probably inside 30, 40 feet, I would guess. And Matt's going to try the backhand. So my guess is if he had played this course a couple times, he might try to sidearm it. And he's in trouble again. That is not where you want to be.
Definitely not. There's some trouble back there with the trees and the what we like to call bumble affectionately here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this course was underwater about a week before this, and about 6 or 7 holes. And we had a crew, it's the same crew, Chris Hinckley and Chandra and a lot of our locals who did a ton of work out here to really help us get this back to a playable condition. So huge shout out to them. And I'm, Cyrus could almost play casual on this, a casual relief, because it's so messy right there. But I don't think he wanted to give up the distance, and that's a huge recovery from where he was. So didn't maybe look as good as it was, but it really was a great shot.
And I know Matt's been trying to line up his shot here for a bit with these branches in his way and with the tree gaps. He's going to go for it.
Yeah, this is jail. I mean, you're pretty much almost getting a 4 no matter what over there. So
he replied actually that he didn't even see that tree.
Yeah, you get off the fairway on these holes and you can be in some deep trouble. So Tyler just smooth, just playing these holes. He plays here quite a bit. He knows the course pretty well. Same with Beeney. Cyrus and Matt are down near Cincinnati, a couple hours away, so they don't really get up there too much. So having some home course knowledge really helps on this course. So he's got some meat on the bone. Looks like about a 35, 40 footer at least.
Yeah, I think he was about 50 feet out there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It can be a little tricky with the camera.
Yep. Yeah, it looked a little further once he let it go, and it was on its way. It took a while to get there. So, yeah, Matt's probably more like the 30-foot range.
Yeah. Beautiful putt. Unfortunately, it's for bogey, but
huge save though.
Yes.
Yeah. Matt's one of the best straddle putters. He goes back and forth sometimes. I think he is, depending on the mood. Cyrus, little high. Not going to be happy with that one.
And speaking of tightly wooded holes,
yes,
we're going to move on to hole 4, which is another par 3, 355 feet. It's probably as dead straight as I've ever seen a hole.
Yep. There's not a lot to it other than just throw it straight. So pick out your straight flyer, get down there as far as you can. Twos are not super common on this hole. A three, you're pretty happy with a three because it's just that range of 350, but you get a little bit off like that. And where Beeney's at is once, I don't know who I heard it from, but where birdies go to die. So that's bad over there. That could get a little well, it's down there. I think Cyrus will be okay to get his par, but I think he's probably pushing for some birdies to put some heat on Tyler. Matt's struggling. He's not really had a lot of luck so far. I think he's pretty much been bogey, bogey, bogey. So let's try this Comet one more time.
Wow.
Yep. Perfect.
That's so beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, Matt and Tyler have both been on Team Discraft for years, so they have they know those discs. They know that Comet, and Tyler's known for his buzz. I think he depends more on a buzz than a Comet, but those are the straight flyers for sure. So Beeney's just in a world of hurt over here.
Yeah, a little further down, but there's still a lot of gel there.
Pretty much conceding a 4. This basket was underwater all the way up to almost the band about a week and a half before, and it receded. So got pretty fortunate. This was one I did not think we were going to be able to play, but had just enough time to get the water down. So nice recovery there.
Yeah, you guys did an amazing job because I'll tell you what, I played the course the day before, and it was very dry before it started raining this round, of course.
Wow, Cyrus almost put that in. This will be a huge momentum builder for Matt. Hopefully he can knock this down. Probably about 40 feet.
Just got to get that bird.
Yep. He's another really aggressive player. There's not a lot of holes he's coming up short on. It's always got the speed.
Wow.
Nice.
Holy cow.
But
Tyler's going to try to do the same. Fortunately, there's a tree there between the basket and him.
Came out a little early on that one. No, didn't commit at all. Another bogue for Beeney. Which is easy to do. There's no doubt. It's an easy one to get a 4 on. If you get a little bit off the fairway, you're in trouble. So Matt gets one back and puts a little pressure on.
So hole 5 is a par 4. It's 610 feet. And this one is really picturesque.
Yeah, I wish there were a little more leaves on the trees because this hole is one of my favorites. I think hole 1 and hole 5 are 2 of my favorites, and this one goes similarly to hole 1. It's a big around to the right side. So if you're a backhand, you're trying to get one turned, and then you're actually more favorable if it hyzers out a little bit at the end as opposed to keep turning because the basket's tucked pretty far around to the right. So lots of different ways to play this. You'll see rollers, you'll see sidearms. So that's, again, one thing I love about this course. There's just so many different ways to throw them. You can get creative. It's like Matt's going with another Comet or something.
Nice turnover. Yeah. Wow.
That is perfect. I mean, that is right where you'd love to be every time. Oh, what a lovely tap that was.
Just right.
Could have been really, really dangerous. I mean, if he hit early and kicked into the right, you're pretty much in trouble zone over there. So that was a nice touch. I think Cyrus is going with something a little faster, a little fairway driver maybe to get a little more distance than the Comet that Matt threw. And he's overturned that. When you get up there, you'll see it's probably going to be cut off to the green a little too much. So beautiful one by Beeney as well. That's right where you want to be. So, and we're not playing to the basket. You see, there's one to the right that is red, so it's a little confusing. And all that stuff in the fairway. That's how high the water was about a week before. That's another hole that we're pretty sure we were not going to be able to play, and then magically things just started to recede, and we were able. So it's got to sit.
Oh, I think Beeney's going to go out there with that shot.
Yeah, this basket is probably 8 to 10 feet from the water's edge, so you have to come in with some caution, and he came in a little hot, I would say. That's a good shot by Cyrus. It's probably going to give himself a long look at birdie. Maybe 40-footer. And Matt is just sitting pretty. There's a nice little touch sidearm. And it's right over there by that tree on the water, the V tree by the water is kind of the line you're looking at. So he's hopefully going to come in just a little low skip. He's going to play a little higher.
He should be, yeah, that should be down there.
Appears to be great from what I can see. So Tyler's playing it smart. He's got a good lead. He doesn't need to. Again, you go a few feet over the basket, you're not getting it back. So
so they're trying to decide where Beeney went out. Unfortunately, they couldn't find his disc.
Cyrus with a really scary putt, and that is that's the problem. You want to be aggressive on this hole, but man, you really can pay a price if you are not hitting metal. So it looked like he was kind of in between going for it and laying up, and decided to try it, and that's the outcome.
Wow. So
I would say all those AMs, you have to commit. You either have to go for it or just lay it up. You can't have it both ways. So Matt got an excellent 3 and picking up, seems like, multiple strokes on a couple of them.
For his first time playing that hole, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yes. Yep, Cyrus drops a stroke, Beeney drops a stroke, and Tyler's just taking his par to smart play.
So we'll move on to another picturesque hole, hole 6, which is a par 3, 515 feet. And you do have some really rough terrain here on the edge of the water. You have a lot of trees that can kick you off into the OB.
Yes. Yeah, the basket that you see up straight ahead is the yellow basket. We're playing to a basket about 150 feet left of that, off to the tree line left, and it's a further carry, but I think your drive, you're trying to pretty much throw the same shot. Matt threw a good one. You're really trying to just make sure you get one in play. And as you said, there are some overhanging trees, so you got to be a little bit careful. You can hit the bank and bounce back in. There's all sorts of different things you can do. And if you decide to not carry the water and get in bounds, you have to go to the short tee drop zone with a stroke penalty. So these guys are really just, it's a 320-foot carry or more over the water, depending on how aggressive you get. So,
which is not a problem for these guys.
No. The only thing they're thinking about is getting the distance right and not going too far, because if you get a little too far, it gets a little more awkward. That looks to be a really good line as well. Very nice bounce. So, yep, they're all in pretty good shape, I think. This little retention area was something that we tried to drain the day before, but it just continually fills up a little bit, so it's just casual relief. So no will be there for Beeney.
Cyrus is trying to find his footing here. He has this branch that had fallen, and he's kind of in a weird spot.
It looks a little dangerous. Better be careful. Nice shot.
Beautiful.
This is a really, really good 3. If you're walking away with the 3, you're happy, because there's just several trees up there, depending on where you land, that can get a little tricky on the upshot. But they're all in a really good spot. It's like Matt got a little lazy on that, and this is Tyler's drive, which I have actually never seen anyone to this hole. So if he makes this, I will be quite impressed. Okay, I mean that's still
It's
amazing.
that close. Yeah.
That's one of the best drives I've ever seen on that hole. It's hard to get a feel for it on film, but go out there when it's a little rainy and wet and muddy and windy and try to throw that hole, and you have a different mindset.
Matt's just outside the circle here. He's going to try for his 3.
Uphill, doesn't really look it, but it's more uphill than you think. So just get it up.
Beautiful putt.
He's an amazing putter. He always has been. It's just Matt's another one. He's been playing since back in the late '90s. He's PDGA member for that for that long. He's got over 36 pro wins. He's a lot of wins on his belt. And a cool stat about Matt that I saw, he's actually had a rating above 1,000 since almost 2004. There was a brief stint in like 2016 where he fell off the 1,000 mark for a short period of time, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he was working a ton. He's an engineer and worked a ton and just wasn't playing and practicing and kind of fell off, but he's back. So
we're on to hole 7, which is a par 3, 260 feet. Nice short one.
Yes. It feels good to get off of those holes that we just played. Those first 6 are brutal. So this one is one, being 260 feet, it's right in front of you. That's the only thing you have to dodge. And Tyler didn't really turn that over as much as he wanted, or maybe the crosswind got him. But you want to this one. This is one you feel like you have to get, especially after coming off those difficult holes. And Cyrus is overcooked that one a little bit, but he's probably going to have himself about 40-foot birdie putt. So Beeney is again in a rough spot. I mean, really rough. That kicked even further than I could tell on film. So you're kind of hoping to just get out and manage to get your 4 at this point. I don't see much from there that you can get your 3. It's just try not to do anything too crazy. And so seasoned player, for anyone who's somewhat new, you have to sometimes just take your medicine and don't try to make too much happen. So even where Tyler's at, this is pretty tricky. He might be able to get himself into the circle's edge.
There he is.
Or just throw right up there, because that's what you do. So great shot by Tyler. I can assure you it wasn't that easy.
Oh, just off the top of the rim.
Wow. Really good effort to save that 3. But like I said, you get caught up early on this hole, and as much as you wanted to, a lot of these holes are the same way. That's the thing about this course, is you can really almost have a 1 or 2 stroke swing on every hole just because of the difficulty. The greens are fast, lots of sloped greens. And Cyrus, I mean, that is a really hard putt from that angle. Didn't do it justice, but if he misses off that left side on the M side, that you're really falling down that slope and give yourself a 15, 20, 30-foot comebacks, very easily. And I guess Matt's probably going to have to make this one. He's on a little tear with 3 this would be 3 in a row.
Beautiful birdie.
Fair enough.
Wow. I had asked Matt after that, what is he putting with? He said he has a pair of seasoned challengers.
Yep. Yeah, I played with him the first round, and he made almost every putt, and he was shredding it. It was fun to watch. So I don't get to play with him as much as I used to, but he's still, for somebody who only averages about 10 to 15 events a year, he still has the skill level of somebody who, I would have loved to have seen him go on tour, and even Tyler, but they just never did. And for whatever reason, that's fine. But they're such good regional players. So.
And we're moving on to hole 8, which is a par 3, 285 feet. It's pretty open here. Yeah,
the only thing that players have to keep in mind is the right side. There's a mando tree about halfway down the fairway, and it's to keep people off of that road. So yeah, nothing too crazy on this one. This is going back towards hole 2, where where Matt was on the wrong fairway. He was kind of in front of this tee, so we're kind of going backwards to that hole. So this is the hole where I think putting an OB would make more sense. And Tyler did not get over on that one as much as he wanted to, and still has a putt, but it's a tricky green. This is a really good sidearm hole. I'm surprised that 3 of them are throwing backhands. I will put money on it that Beeney throws a sidearm.
Great drive there by Cyrus.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I think you won your money.
I've played it once or twice with Beeney. That's perfect. You can kind of see the slope on this. It doesn't really, it's again tough on film, but you can get off to the backside of that sewer manhole cover, and it can roll away pretty fast. So a little tricky, something to think about.
And Matt's going to take his time here because he does have some cars, some distractions in the back. He's outside the circle here for sure, probably about 45 feet. Beautiful birdie. He's just on top of it.
4 in a row if I'm doing my math right. So he's definitely putting some heat back on Tyler. Master's card is studying Tyler.
Oh man.
He answers. That was not his greatest drive on that hole, but you know, if you can make the 35-foot putt, doesn't much matter. So great putt by Tyler.
Oh, just off the weak side of the chains there.
Yep. Got 2 guys banging 40 and 35, 45 footers. The basket starts getting a little smaller when you walk up to your putt. It's like, wow, that make it look a little easy.
Beeney did get a birdie there. Good on him.
Yeah, Cyrus needed that one. I think he needed it for his confidence. So that's a bummer to see.
So hole 9's a par 3, 365 feet over the water hazard here. Really tightly wooded.
Yeah, this is one that, some guys from out of town said they thought this was one of the harder holes out here with the most trouble, and it can be. I think it's great sidearm hole again. You'll see now. Here's 2 or 3 of them. Or I know Beeney will throw a sidearm, but you just saw Matt and Tyler on a hole that seemed to be pretty simple sidearm. That now they're throwing sidearms on this one. So those are perfect. Those are exactly where you want to be. This is rarely going to be two'd. Beeney came out a little early. Yeah, he's not going to be in the best spot, but you really want to just get over that water. That's kind of your first task at hand.
No.
Yeah, and Cyrus is in trouble.
Yeah, I heard a kerplunk whenever that one went in.
Yeah, so there's an OB line short of the water and one on the other side, and his job is not going to get much easier now. He's probably got as difficult of a shot than he did. I would have maybe just re-teed because he's in a really bad spot and he's OB. So
not favorable, that's for sure.
the option to mark it up to a meter in.
Oh, luckily it didn't roll back into the water.
Stop. Yeah, that could have been a lot worse. So again, you see the yellow one on the left. We're actually going to the red one that's off to the right where you can just barely see the band of it. So he's still got a good 125 feet or more just to get to the basket, and he did not take the preferred fairway, but he got up there. Looks like maybe into the circle, I would guess. So
yeah, he was dealing with a lot of right around there was a lot of mud, so it was probably really hard footing.
Makes sense. That needs to get down. It's gonna be close, probably in the circle's edge too, if I had to guess.
Good, smart.
Yep. You don't have to birdie every hole as much as you want to. This is one with that elevated basket where if you get a little aggressive, my guess is Matt will run this because that's what Matt does. But he has a pretty soft putt where he can float by it and not go too far by it. And proves that. Seeing that's a good lesson as well. You know, if you are going to go for something, get the nose up a little bit, let it start to slow down back toward the basket. So good putt by Matt, and great save by Beeney. That was a pro par.
Cyrus is gonna find his footing here, take a breath, and give this a run.
He hasn't had much go his way this round. Hopefully he can knock this one down, but that's how this course is. I mean, sometimes you just feel like you're just getting punched in the face over and over, and this punching continues. That's it's gonna leave a mark on the card. And I feel like he's probably at this point realizing that, okay, I'm not in the running to win this, and this is where you start saying, okay, I'm 9 holes in, now I need to start saving myself and getting myself, you know, into the cash. So Matt's on the other hand thinking I'm 1 or 2 back. That's anything doable on this course. So this is kind of Matt and Tyler's running away at this point. Triple, wow.
Yeah. So we're moving on to hole 10, which is a par 3, 195 feet. And this is pretty straight down there.
Yeah, this is one of my least favorite holes probably on the course. It's really short. There's a lot that can happen. A little bit of a poke and hope, I would say. That the key on this one is the basket has about a 10, maybe 15 feet around it. There's water all over the place. So Matt pretty much pured exactly what you're trying to do. It can still look a little bit lucky from the tee, but he probably threw that left gap is the one that you see most people throw. I'm sure Tyler's looking, at the same line, a little bit of turn. And, you know, if that doesn't sit down, it looks like it might be hit a tree, but the water is right there next to the basket. So that's got to sit. It seemed to be going hot. I don't know. My guess is that's out of bounds, but and Cyrus needs to sit as well. It looks like he did. But you'll see up there on the green, it's really close. I mean, you're looking at 15 feet to the left. Behind it, to the right, you have a little bit more room, but there's not a lot of room. So most of the time when you get back here, or you're not up on the on the green as much as you want, you're really just laying it up.
Yeah, I think Cyrus even gave that a good run.
Yeah, he did. That triple is on his mind, and he's probably thinking, okay, we got to make some birdies. This is a good shot of the green where it's right there, so you got to be pretty careful. Oh, close.
Nice one, Tyler.
Huge birdie for Tyler. That's a good one to get. It looks like they're searching again for Beeney. His bag just is getting lighter and lighter. So marking it. The good news is on this hole that it is very close. So, you know, you should easily get your circle 3, but hopefully the water goes down a little. Typically it's not that high, and even if it is that high, it's not as murky and muddy, so you can usually get them back. But the rainstorms have just been relentless.
So we're on to hole 11, which is a par 3, 340 feet.
Super hard hole. Tyler kind of is kind of that line you want. I always tell people you really want to be about 6-8 feet off the ground and just have a nice smooth hyzer. It's really tricky, and if you saw it off early and hit one of those trees and kick left, you're in deep trouble. So see if Matt can see. Matt just barely missed that corner, and now he's in a really rough spot. It's just tough 3. And Beeney went the opposite route, and it looks like he's going to look for his disc on the last hole. Cyrus put a good line on it, a little higher than you want maybe. And I couldn't tell if that fell in the water or not. I think it's probably safe.
It is safe, yes.
Good. You can see Beeney's just trying to stay at the water. the basket's down to the water's edge down there, right there in the yellow band. That's
good tree.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a really good tree because that could have been. The bag is going to continue to get lighter if he keeps it up. Come on, Beeney, pull it together, buddy. And Matt's in jail. I mean, this is one where you're trying to just move through as far as you can. You're probably going to get a 4 at best. And Tyler, again, he came in a pretty good line, and he's got a pretty good shot in, just a little jump putt in probably. And yep, if you go about 10 feet by the basket, you are gone. It's in the water, so there's not a lot of room for being aggressive. Cyrus was close to that water, though.
Nice turnover shot.
What a shot. Yeah, that's a tough shot. Again, sometimes the film doesn't do it justice, but that was, I can tell you from experience, that was a excellent shot. And he's feeling good about just getting a 3 and getting out of there after that spot he was just in. And Matt's got to be really careful here. If he gets too aggressive, which I know he's probably trying to figure out how he can run this. Well, good. He was being smart there. That's just so dangerous. That right behind it is water, and Beeney's looking right at it. So he's got to commit to this putt and just put it on its line.
Beautiful par. Wow.
He's feeling really good about that one. I bet he needed that putter. So that was a good putt. Good save from Cyrus. Beeney doesn't get around too much. He's more of a regional player, but he's always so much fun to play with. He's always got a huge smile on his face. He's always laughing, and I'm sure you probably noticed he doesn't get too mad. So it's always fun to play with Beeney.
Yeah. Oh, he seems very positive, so it was a lot of fun covering him.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go ahead and move on to hole 12. It's a par 3, 360 feet.
Yeah, this one is, you've got a really tight window down the middle. This angle's not the greatest to see that, but what Tyler just did is exactly, what you're trying for. It looks like he got in a little early on the hyzer, but you're trying to just penetrate through a straight as far as you can. Beeney's taking a little bit more of an unconventional sidearm route, which I do see people try, but it can get caught up early, but quite honestly, it could get caught up early on any line. So this is just a really tough one. You don't see a lot of 2s, but there are possibles birdies out there. So, but I always would say you feel good if you get a 3 on this.
Beautiful drive by Cyrus. Unfortunately, you didn't catch that stump roll out a little bit, but that was one heck of a drive.
Exactly what you're looking for.
Little tree kick, tree love.
We've seen Blakely do that for years. We used to say he was the luckiest person in Ohio, and then Cyrus came along, but Cyrus is not getting the love this round for sure. Come back a little bit. It's going to put Beeney probably outside the circle a little bit, but give him a chance for his 3, which is pretty much all you can hope for out there. Nice.
Tyler's down there.
Tyler's kind of putting it on cruise control now. He's 4 ahead, and he's got about 5 or 6 holes left. So I think he knows what he's capable of, and just trying to play smart now, nothing crazy.
Did want to give a special shout out to Jeff Revilla for helping me with the second camera this weekend.
You guys were awesome.
Thank you.
This will be a huge birdie for Matt, and I know he's going to be running this one hard.
The way that he's been putting, why not?
Yeah. He's
probably 70 feet out at this point.
Yeah, it's interesting to see his straddle. He goes from right to left, and I would love to know why. Why is he bouncing back and forth? Sometimes he wants the weight on his left foot. Other times, oh wow.
Just shot.
Yeah, he was going for that, and why shouldn't he? But you'll notice he kind of bounces back and forth. I don't know if it's about the angle he wants or the foot placement is a little awkward. Great save by Beeney. Matt's very methodical, though. He takes the time on every putt. Doesn't matter if it's 15 feet or 40 feet. It's a good lesson for people to not take anything for granted.
Just take your par at this point. He's probably about 40 feet out now, 45 maybe.
Oh, no.
Just a little high. We're dealing with a little bit of wind there too. I don't know if that may have contributed to it, or maybe just the nose up situation.
Tyler's perfect. Matt needs to rein this back in and get off this hole. Going for 2, and now he's turned it into a 4, potentially, maybe more. Hopefully not.
There we
Great
go.
save. Wow, that's a heartbreaker. You want it so bad. You want that birdie so bad. You were pressing a little too hard, and now he's given up another one.
Cyrus will take his par.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move on to hole 13, which is a par 3, 305 feet.
It's a really tough one too. There's a few different ways to get this. I think the most popular is probably what Tyler's lining up. It's a sidearm, kind of a flex sidearm shot. There is a hyzer on the right side, but this seems to be more of a popular shot if you can throw that sidearm. And you can just see the red band down there. And this is another really fast green. And Beeney needs to hit something, or again, his bag is going to continue to get. Okay, good. There's a great angle from Jeff where you can see that that green is so tricky and fast, and there's just water, that just slopes right down to the water. So got to be very careful if you come in a little hot. This is right in Matt's sweet spot. He usually likes to keep his sidearms from the 250 to 300 range. If it gets much outside of 300, he's usually going back to his common or his backhand turnover shot. So I'm not surprised to see him throw the backhand there, or the sidearm there.
I think that just didn't hook up as hard as Cyrus wanted to.
Yeah, he's going to have something to think about on that putt, because he's going to be looking right at OB, as is Matt right now, and I'd be surprised if he goes for this. Smart play. And I could be surprised if Tyler went for it with a 5-stroke lead. Boy, that probably just ate him up inside to have to lay that up, because he's on film, and I know he wanted to make that and show off. Great putt.
Wow, Cyrus for the save.
Yeah, he needed that.
That's scary.
Yeah, he needed that, though. Come on, Beeney.
There he goes.
Yes.
Birdie. Beautiful bird.
It's a good one to get. There's not a lot of twos on that one, just because that green is so well protected, and just the danger on it as well. If you get too short on it, you usually don't see people going really aggressive, because that drop's so extreme.
Tyler will take his par. And we'll move on to hole 14, which is a par 3, 325 feet.
Another tricky one. Kind of tough to see from the video, but if you look right to Matt's right, there's a big log down there that's laying, and the basket's off to the right of that. So most players are either throwing some sort of sidearm like Beeney's about to do, and you're really just trying to get low and right at that dead log that he's at. I mean, that is exactly what you want. He just got a little unfortunate kick, but there's just a lot of trees down there to hit. I think the key is you have to hit that initial line. And again, you'll see Tyler throwing a sidearm. Again, really good line, and just a fabulous skip. Probably circle's edge. And the other shot, you can try this just fairway driver, kind of turnover shot. There's just a lot more danger because that spin is going the opposite way. And if you do hit a tree, it typically kicks you way left, and it's going to make a liar of me and kick way right. So this is a perfect comet shot. Put it on line, let it just do its thing. got that way too high.
Oh my God.
One thing for AMs to keep in mind, if you're in these wooded holes and you get it so high, keep it down, keep it as low as you can. So if it does hit a tree, it doesn't fly 200 feet. It may only fly 40 feet. But when you see people in wooded holes and they're getting them so high, nose up, there's just so much more room for air and so much more room for that disc to just go way off fairway instead of just maybe a little bit. So, oh no.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate kick.
Trying to just lay it up, and now he's giving himself a lot more than he wanted on his putt. And that's just probably 50 feet, and it's just completely dangerous down below. This is a really fast green as well. I feel like it's a broken record that these greens are all a lot of trouble. There's lots of slope, and this is one, if he misses, if he's really going for this and misses, it's unlikely to be close to the pin. It's going to roll.
Oh, and just a little low. Wow.
Unbelievable run. Cyrus has got another tricky one too. This is probably 40 feet, looking straight at nothing.
Now that is a hill going down behind there, and unfortunately.
Yeah, he's not going to love that outcome most likely. Tyler's drive, that's a great shot. And he just extended his lead again. So yeah, it's pretty much looking like Tyler's tournament, unless he does something really crazy on the last few holes, which is not going to happen most likely.
I think he's got some room to work there.
Yeah.
Cyrus is struggling to gain his footing here on the side of this hill. It is muddy and slick, but
oh, good try. But yeah, like you said, there's only so much you can do once you get down there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
that thing just stood up and walked out of there.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
Beeney can't catch a break. He finally got a birdie on the last hole, and then he just stole it right back. Another double from Cyrus. He's really hurting now. And Matt did stay up on that hill. You can see the angle that he was working against. If he had missed that without hitting metal, it just funnels right down to the bottom of that hill, and it doesn't look as steep on film as it really is. So.
And now we have a very interesting hole. It's hole 15. It's a par 3, 425 feet. I'd say this is an island hole, correct?
Yeah, so there's a green up there where the road, you'll see in a second, where the cars can go and turn around, and we play that road completely out of bounds if you're on it. So the green is on a circular piece of grass in the middle where people turn around. So it gives you something to think about. These guys, I would say Tyler's probably the only one that can really have the distance to get it in this group. Matt, maybe. And Tyler completely shanked that into that tree, trying to probably birdie it because he has a big lead. So Matt may be going hard at this as well, but this is one where typically if you can get your 3, you're perfectly content with it because it's a tough little shot. So you just got to throw straight. Matt's throwing a heat, which is kind of a fairway driver, just a straight flying fairway driver. And that's perfect. That's kind of what you're looking for, to just take your 3 and move on. And Beeney, wow, that's a really aggressive line. But the problem with that sidearm is that, it's going to finish to the left most likely, and he did, and flared into the woods. So, the backhand is not something he's as comfortable with, probably. And Cyrus just pured it straight down the middle. That's exactly what you want. So. Tyler, this would be a miracle 3 if he could save it. I think at this point he's probably going to be okay with a 4 and just move on.
I think actually that shot's going to go OB, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, then he'd be real happy with 4. Yeah, Beeney's in pretty good jail most likely. I don't know what the line is, but when you get off into those, it gets really challenging. So he actually managed, though. He gets shot by Beeney. And here's where you can see the road. So they have to be on the grass on the inside circle. And Matt's probably going to give us a good jump putt from 90 to 100 feet.
Oh, no.
And he didn't. Or did he?
He did go OB there.
No. So that's, again, or you get a little too aggressive. It's one of those where how many times do you make that 100-foot jump putt? And you wanted it, but now you're paying for it. So Tyler, that's pretty unfortunate from where he was, because that'll happen 1 out of 10 times to land right there.
And that is literally where his disc landed.
And that was a great save for 4. Looks like he's not going to lose a stroke because Matt went OB as well. So. One of the most interesting things about Matt, if you ever play with Matt, is that he closes his eyes when he putts. Yeah.
That wasn't just me then capturing him in mid-putt.
No, Matt closes his eyes, and it was probably about 8 years ago or more. Paul Macbeth was at the Hambrick, the BHMO, and he said, "Did you ever notice that you close your eyes when you putt?" And we all started looking, and now it's just... It's something you talk
Every
about.
photo I have of him putting is with him with his eyes closed. That makes sense now. So we'll move on to hole 16, which is a par 3, 245 feet. And I don't really see a clear line through here. What's the play here?
Yeah, the shot that Beeney just threw is kind of a turnover flex, and it's there. What I try to do, and what some people will do, on the left side of that tee, there's and I don't know if they'll throw. You can throw sidearm or backhand. I try the left-hand gap over to the left of where that sign is on the tree, so it's almost out of the frame now. It looks like it's really far left, but it's actually not. So it's a safer route for me, and it looks like that's maybe what Cyrus is going to try, and he's playing that really wide route. Yep, right there. It's a little more open, and I like the that was going really well. I think it was a little high. But that shot seems to be the safest for me. But there's a lot of different ways to throw this hole, none of which are easy. And that was probably the worst throw he's had all weekend. Tyler. Like Matt's going straight up the gut too. It's probably the most direct line, obviously, but there's a lot more trouble. If you hit something like that, you bring 4 into play, whereas the outside line that Cyrus took, I think at worst you usually are going to get a 3, and it's definitely a good line for 2 as well. So I like to try to take as much trouble out as possible, take the biggest hole, and see what happens. So
Matt is on a bundle of branches here.
yeah, that's not where anyone usually lands. That's probably the brush pile to clear the fairway, and he is nowhere near the fairway right now. So that needs to sit quick.
He's going to be a little bit long there from the basket.
Tyler's just trying to get up and down for his 3. It doesn't much matter at this point. He's only got a couple holes left, and they are not holes that he's probably going to have a whole lot of trouble on. So he knows he just needs to get up and down, get a 3, and move on and take home that money. Tyler's actually cashed for over $100,000 in his career in PDGA earnings. So
wow,
probably not a lot of people that have cashed for that much. It's pretty impressive. So nice try by Cyrus.
And Matt is way outside the circle here.
This is one he usually makes. This is been years of this where you think you're going to get a stroke on Matt, and then he throws one in from 70 feet. See if he can do it. Oh.
Just shy.
Yeah, good try, though.
Nice.
That was a nice save. Not a hole you're trying to save 3 on. This is one you want to get a 2, and you expect it to because it's so short.
That's great. Looks like Beeney threw in his caltrip, and the wind didn't bother him at all.
Yep. Good par. And we got so lucky with the weather. I can't even describe the radar. I mean, everyone kept asking about the radar. If you look at the radar, it's like, just stop talking about it. It's going to do what it's going to do. And we got just so lucky. So
we're on hole 17. It's a par 3, 450 feet.
this is a really cool hole. It's down past the parking lot on the right. You'll see that little sliver of land, and it's the red basket we're actually playing to the right of where Beeney's at, right there. Yep, in the frame. And it's another one where there's not a lot of people that can throw it that far, so a 3 on it is a really good score. Just try to keep it out of that road and that tree that Cyrus just hit and saved him from going out. Tyler, and there's a few others that can definitely get there. I would expect Tyler to just burn one straight at it and give himself a look at it.
Oh, yeah.
That is exactly what he did. That's probably one of the best drives I've seen. I did see Corey Ellis throw one past the hole off to the right in the grass, and I've never seen anyone long on this hole. But Tyler's shot was super controlled and exactly what you want if you have that kind of arm. And Matt's another one. Matt can reach it, but it's probably a little bit out of his comfort zone, but he's going for it, and that was not his best effort. That needs to just hit something fast. Not sure what happened there.
There is OB down there, but I think he's going to be safe from it.
Cyrus needs to sit. That's probably going to go long. That just funnels down that hill, and it's kind of hard to tell from there, but there's a ditch back there that the discs kind of funnel into if you go in a little long. And it looks like Beeney has probably done the same thing, and it's not really an easy putt out of there.
There's Matt down near the OB. Yeah,
not his best effort. I'm not sure if he was dealing with some stuff in his way, but he did not get that over, and I would have expected him to put that right next to it.
Oh.
Beeney can't catch a break. That one, that was definitely a little high and a little left, but one of those that could have stuck.
Mm-hmm. Cyrus is asking for his casual relief there.
I think at this point, everyone's pretty tired. It's been a long day, and this course can wear you out for sure. After 18 holes at Hoover and then 18 holes here, these guys are ready to be done, I think.
Not to mention the wind and getting rained on.
Mm-hmm. Cyrus looks close here, but it's probably a good 25 to 30 feet. It's not as close as it appears. And he did not have enough from the get-go.
He didn't really have great footing there.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that he thought that he could reach it.
And Matt's probably right on circle's edge too after not throwing a very good upshot. Again, an uphill putt, straddle. You got to put a little more on it. Aim at that the number band.
Yeah, there it goes.
Nice.
Nice save.
Yep. That's a huge 3 from where he was. And then look at this drive. This is the best drive I've seen on this hole probably ever.
Tyler for 2. Boom.
Wow.
Wow.
That's just the exclamation point there. You miss hole 16 from 240 feet, and you birdie hole 17 at 450 feet. I don't get it. Great shot, though.
Crazy golf today.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to our final hole, hole 18, par 3, 345 feet, and extremely heavily wooded, I'd say.
Yeah, another hole that there's a lot of different ways to play it. I think going forward, we probably need to put a Mando on this hole and make him play the line that Tyler just threw, because that's probably the designed path. in the design play of that hole? Oh, that go a little deep in O road, maybe.
Unfortunately, or actually, fortunately, it did not go OB. It was right on the line. So Tyler, good.
Not that he needed it, but yeah. So, but the line that some people are taking, and Beeney, it wouldn't surprise me if Beeney plays this left sidearm. It's that you're throwing right at another hole, and I think just design flaw we probably need to correct that for next year. So Beeney did play right of that tree, but still throwing right over that side of that other fairway next to the OB. But it looks like he was fortunate enough to stay in. And Matt, interesting, if he tries a turnover shot, that's pretty dangerous with the Comet. I would be surprised, but he's lining it up. So this, I think, just comes down to not knowing the course. He's put a great line on it, though.
Looks like he made it across. He might have probably a 50-foot putt, but we've seen him make it.
That was a great shot. Very dangerous because one little kick, and you can't really see it from the film, but there's OB to the left. That's the other hole that they played where Cyrus went in earlier into the water. They're throwing right over that little inlet there. So that was a fabulous shot. Wow. That's one of the best drives I've seen on this hole. Beeney just did miss that OB, which is good. Wow. Great shot. Does he have one more? No, he's tired. Out of gas.
And Tyler's going to see if he can put one more bird in the bag.
That would be 2 amazing birdies in a row.
Oh, just a little high. There was some wind he was contending with there for sure.
That's a huge drive to be back by the road. And Cyrus's drive is just...
Good birdie.
Great birdie. Wow.
Good follow through, Cyrus. I love it.
Everybody else wanted to know how he did that one.
Beeney just throws him in hard. He's probably had more bounce outs than anyone I've ever seen in disc golf over the years, but he puts so hard that sometimes that backfires on you. So good round though. It's fun to watch. Tyler just absolutely shredded that round.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys were so much fun to cover. All of them had really good attitudes, real fun guys. And I want to thank them for letting us cover them for the final round of the 2018 Buckeye Classic. So we have Tyler Horne taking first place with 14 under. Mike Gaston behind him. He
snuck up from the second card and had a really hot round.
Yeah, he did very good. Then third place, we had a tie between Matt Blakely and Zach Fiberstein.
Yep. Yeah, Brian, I want to just quickly say thanks to you and Disc Golf Examiner for making the trip out. It was a really special treat for us to have you guys there. And if I could thank the sponsors one more time, I would love to thank them, everyone that helped out, especially Discraft, who's been a big supporter of mine. And then a huge shout out again to all the people that helped out on the course to get us ready for the tournament. Without them, we would have been in deep trouble. So Chris Hinckley, Sean Drone, all those guys that I mentioned before. And then again at Hoover, Paul J., Rick Stevens, the Columbus Flyers group, they all help out a ton. And last but not least, the 2 assistant TDs who ran the courses, to Ken Rollins for Alum and Benjamin Bott for running Hoover. They were nice enough to let me play, which didn't work out so well for me, looking back, but I'm glad I got to. So huge thanks to them and thanks to you guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We had so much fun. Thank you for being one of our sponsors, getting us out there. But we also do want to give a big thank you to Dynamic Discs, who was our broadcast sponsor for this.
Absolutely. Thanks to them.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We wouldn't have been able to go out there otherwise. So it's great. Thank you to you and to Dynamic Discs.
Absolutely.
So that's going to do it for our coverage of the 2018 Buckeye Classic. It was a lot of fun, and we'll have a lot of photos out there on our Facebook page for everybody to enjoy. And feel free to comment. Remember to like, share, subscribe. We always appreciate hearing from you guys. And I guess that's going to do it for us, Brad. Anything else?
No, thanks a bunch. I hope we'll have it next year. Hope you guys can make it out again, and we look forward to seeing you guys. Sign up early. It filled early, so don't miss out.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun, and we'd love to be a part of it next year too. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this week at Disc Golf Examiner. Check in next week. We'll have lots of new content for you, including an in the bag from Brad Schick. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So until next week, guys, keep banging those chains.